All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here at Listings to Leads. Welcome to the call today. Go ahead and let me know where you're coming in from. Good to see everybody. Gladys, thank you. Where are you coming in from? We're going to be going over open house marketing. So this would be good for your listings or borrowed, whether you got an open house coming up this weekend, maybe you got a neighborhood preview coming up for the neighbors only, or you're just looking at how can I grow my business fast? All right, open houses are one of the best ways to get buyers, to get sellers with all the different marketing tools in Listings to Leads. We've got an entire plan for how to pre-market the open house, social media, your database, the farm to get buyers and sellers. But also we're going to talk about what to do during the open house, and I'll point you in the direction for what to do after the open house so that we're going to make sure that our work is not just standing there waiting for people to come in and hoping for the best. We are literally going to be there. The goal is to get buyers. The goal is to get sellers to come out of this open house, hopefully with a strong lead, at least one, to a listing appointment that becomes a listing for us, but then also some buyers as well. Good to see you. Florida is well represented. Barbara, are you with MVP? Barbara, who are you with? Naples. I was just down there a couple of 3 weeks ago. Absolutely awesome. So first thing we're going to do is, and I put this link into the StreamYard chat, and if you're watching the recording, I am at listingstoleads.com/open house. And then if you come here, you are going to see, if you scroll down, that we got a video about open houses, talk about open house marketing. And this is a really great resource because this is as if we were sitting next to each other and I was walking you through everything that we're going to do to market this listing. There's a couple of things on here that are not in the market listing checklist. So this is a great link to get. Again, listingstoleads.com/open house. And all it is just really a rehash of what is in Listings to Leads. But again, like I said, this is as if we were sitting next to each other versus what you're just going to see in the account. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to do Facebook and Instagram ads. We're going to talk about automating the follow-up. That's going to be key. And I'm going to be talking about our AI text follow-up, our email follow-up, both of which are absolutely awesome. We'll talk about social media posts. We'll talk about shorts. So we're talking about like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and how to add a poll, how to add a link so that when we have an Instagram story or a TikTok, that we actually have a link to a landing page, to the single property website, to a PDF guide, different things like that you can use in the marketing for that open house to further increase your engagement with your audience. So we'll look at some examples right here. And I got a couple of training videos on how to do that if you're not familiar. And you can do that with images. You can do little video clips. It's so easy to do. I mean, it's ridiculously easy to do. We got tools for the seller. We want to make sure that the seller is letting everybody know about the open house that we're going to be having. For the listing agents, we've got the nearby homeowner letter. This is one of the best tools for an open house. This is something that I would be door knocking with a couple of days before. And if I am going to be doing a neighborhood preview, I would want to make sure that I door knock that as well. If I keep scrolling down on this page right here, the reason why that letter part is so long is because I gave you a script in that section for if you're going to be door knocking or calling. You might circle prospect the neighbors or you might door knock. So a little bit about circle prospecting. Then we got tools for your database. So we got a beautiful e-flyer. It's got a 5-image slideshow, links to the single property website automatically. And then it lets people know that when this home is sold, it will affect nearby home values. And there's a beautiful graphic to your home value landing page. It's all done for you. All you have to do is send it out, which I'll be walking you through. And you can send that through your CRM, and I'll show you how to send it through Follow Up Boss. But you can send it through Bold Trail, through Lofty, through Sierra, Constant Contact, pretty much any email program. Then we're going to talk about calling through a few of the leads in your database. Not enough people are leveraging their database properly. Then we'll talk about doing a short form video. So this is different than what we talked about as far as the Instagram and TikTok, where we're going to use images or little video clips. That's one way to do short form video, or short form, I should say. But then we've also got a great script for you to record as well. And this is something that you can do, again, ahead of the open house. And you can even do it during the open house. You can do it every day of the week before the open house, because we want to make, when you do social media, the number of people that see any one of your posts, maybe 10, 20%, it's not all of them. And so posting one time about one thing seems to us like, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to bother people. But especially when you're using a combination of, for example, on Instagram, reels and stories, you really can't overdo the stories, hardly. And even reels, you can do multiple reels of the same thing as long as you present it differently. Then we'll talk about the single property website and virtual tour. We'll talk about the listing flyers. All right. The listing flyers are absolutely amazing. They're like print Facebook ads. They've got text codes. They got QR codes. So that we're going to get people off the listing flyers and into our lead funnels. We're going to talk about sign writers. Your open house yard sign should look just like this as quickly as possible. If you are the listing agent, you want to get this on your yard sign ASAP. So go to your association, buy one of those, and get it on that yard sign. And we'll talk about the sign writer itself. I'm also going to be talking about putting some of those listing flyers into a acrylic flyer box that you can also get from your association typically. And that way, when all the neighbors are walking by, people, they see it online, they want to do a quick drive by, see if they're going to put it on their list for the weekend. You want them to be able to grab a flyer, because it is a phenomenal way to get people from the flyer. There's a QR code right to the single property website. There's a lead capture on the single property website. There's text codes on the listing flyer as well, where you get the phone number 100% of the time. So to not get your yard sign dialed in is an absolute crime. So I want to make sure that you do that. And then we're going to talk about open house mastery, what to do during the open house. So with that, get yourself over to listingstoleads.com. Go ahead and log into your account. And if you want to do that right now, there's some of the things that we can do together right now so that you are on your way to making sure that you're going to have the best open house of your career. And I've also got another thing that I'm going to share with you, which is I can't remember, is it a 5-day or 7-day open house marketing campaign for your shorts? So we'll get to that. There's a lot to do. This can seem overwhelming if you're new to doing open houses, but we've got all of this stuff because this is you. Essentially, think of an open house as a performance, all right? You are physically in the neighborhood. You're physically in a house. You're set up almost like a storefront to where all the neighbors coming by, buyers coming by, people driving around the neighborhood. And so we want to make sure that we've got, and imagine that you have a mall, and in the mall, there's a bunch of stores. How are we going to make sure that in the sea of sameness, open house, after a while, they all look the same? How are we going to make sure that we are doing an open house that people are going to remember, people are going to want to work with us coming through our open house versus all the other open houses that they do? And I'll tell you what, I go to 2 to 3 open houses a week, maybe 2 to 3 every other week. And very seldom do I see people doing anything that would really make me think this is somebody I should work with. 95% of the time, they're just standing around. They may or may not ask me to sign in, but they give me no reason to. They give me no benefit for it. They got no other value, right? Maybe they got a couple of cookies inside of the Safeway, a plastic tin that, again, when I was in college, I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue. I also worked at Neiman Marcus. I worked at a few high-end stores. It doesn't cost a lot of money to set yourself apart, but what it does need is for you to think about it and start putting together, not in 1 week, maybe not even 2 or 3 weeks, but over time, within, let's say, a couple of 2 to 4 weeks, that we can put together a plan that's going to turn us into a Saks Fifth Avenue, a Neiman Marcus. All right. We don't want to be the target of real estate in the sense of just anybody comes in, we're not memorable. They're not going to remember, they're not going to want to come back to us. We want to be the people that when they come to our open house, they are more than impressed. And the open house marketing, the open house blueprint that we're going to walk through right now is going to get the most people to it. All right. Everybody good with that? Everybody makes sense? Are you ready to have the best open house of your career? Now, before we get to that, just real briefly, if you haven't seen, if you scroll down the dashboard, about a week and a half ago at this point, we got another one coming out soon, but I know sometimes people miss this. We've got 2 emails that you should be sending out to your database. You can send these through Listings to Leads. You can send them through your own CRM. And there's one for buyers and there's one for sellers. So the one for buyers is Fed rate cuts ahead, but the best deals might be now. This is for the buyer leads. You can see it says timely email for buyer leads right at the top of that pop-up or mouse over. And then the top one here, Fed rate cuts ahead, but will buyers be back? And this is for your seller leads. And for either one of them, just go ahead and click on it. It'll take you to the editor. And from here, I can edit this however I want. So if you'd like to put a little space right there, I do. I just like my bullet points have a little bit more space. That's just me, maybe. And then I can either schedule this to go out to all of my leads. And of course, I want to do send to. So again, this is for seller leads. So for listings to leads, I would select seller leads. And again, I can either schedule it. I can send a test email. I can send it right now. I can copy the code, or I can even just copy the email. Let me show you. If I click on preview, here's what it looks like in the preview. It's got my signature at the bottom right there. It looks beautiful. Great email. You could just copy the email, go to your CRM. So in this case, I got Follow Up Boss Up. I can just paste that in there. And again, I'm going to add my little space right there. Looks beautiful. Perfect. I got my signature at the bottom. Change your subject line and get that out the door. So I recommend get both of these out the door as quickly as possible today. I want to make sure that you get the benefit of using the tools, Listings to Leads. We do send an email. We also post in the mastermind group when we drop new email blasts for you. And we usually do about like 1 a week. So today is the 16th. So I think there's another one coming out tomorrow. So pretty much every week in Listings to Leads, we're giving you topical email blasts that you can use relating to something to do with real estate. We don't rah-rah the market. We're here to add value. We're here to let people know what is going on so that they can make the best decisions with you in buying or selling real estate. So take a look at that. But for now, let's get ourselves over to the open house marketing. If you do not have a listing in your account yet and you need help with it, get with our support team. It should be coming in from the data feed. If you're borrowing a listing to hold open, you can go to either grab listing and add in the zip code and MLS ID number, and that will pull it in for you. If it's not available from the grab, you'll have an opportunity to have one of our support people to add it for you. So you don't need to worry about that. And once it is in your account, all you got to do is click where it says over here to the kind of the far, it says add open house. There's an icon here next to all of my listings. I just click it and I can select the date and time, click add open house, and that's going to add the open house. I can add one open house. I can add multiple open houses. I could also do a neighborhood preview, right? So I could say Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. And once that resets, and you see the little emblem right there, now it says open house Sunday, September 28th from 1 to 4 p.m. Let's click on the green market listing button. And let's get at it. Now it's going to drop me in the overview. And there's two things here I want you to pay attention to. One is open house mastery. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to leave it open and I'll come back to that. Open house mastery is what do we do to have, like during the open house, how do we set up the open house? How do we do the open house so that the buyers and sellers coming through, we're engaging them at a higher level? So that is open house mastery. In the overview, there's a quick little video. There's the step-by-step guide. That's what we were looking at a little bit earlier. We got a checklist, help you keep organized. And all we want to do is just work our way down this column. And it really shouldn't take that long. Like in 15 to 20 minutes, we can be done with this. So let's just work our way through here. I'm going to click on Facebook and Instagram ad first. And we brought Facebook inside of listings to leads. I don't need to go to the ads manager. 100% of the budget goes to the ad. We do a Facebook lead ad. It will capture name, email, phone number, but it's also going to offer the lead the ultimate guide to buying a home, which is phenomenal. I'll show you something to that here in a minute. And it's also going to ask them what is their time frame to buy. Now they may say just dreaming, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 plus months. Don't worry too much about what people say typically. Now, if they say 1 to 3, then that's going to be a pretty hot lead. But a lot of times people say 12 plus or just dreaming because they don't know the process. So especially if you use our AI text follow-up, it's going to help you connect with the leads so much faster. All right. So much faster. But to get the ad up, the first part, of course, is getting this ad out. I can edit the text. I can edit the image. We got the location will autofill. I recommend leaving it as location, leaving the radius at 15 miles. We got a lifetime budget of $35. Now, 35 is way too low. I recommend you want to get to $125 a week marketing listings. And that is because they are typically the least expensive leads. And a fair number of these people have a home that they are going to sell, especially for an open house. If I'm going to spend 2 hours at an open house, an hour setting it up, 30 minutes, maybe an hour breaking it down in my post open house follow-up, I want to make sure I get some people there. All right. So I'm going to spend $50, $75, whatever you want to do. I put down 125. Normally, I wouldn't really touch the end date. We go for a week by default, but because it's an open house, there's no point in running this ad after. So I'm going to select the 21st and I'll just change the time to end at 3:30. That way it'll end before the open house is over with. I can change the template. I can change the image altogether. I can put a video here. You'll see here, if I click change template, I can change the color. I can change the text. All right. We got different templates here that you can select from. All right. So a lot of different templates. And again, I can upload a video. I can upload a custom Canva image, whatever I want, but click the green create ad button. This will send it to Meta for approval. Anywhere from 10 minutes to a couple of hours, it should be live and generating leads. And again, name, email, phone number, purchase time frame, and it's going to offer them the ultimate guide to selling a home. And the cool thing is, if they say yes to that, we are automatically going to send them the guide from the system. So you don't even have to do that. And you're going to get a copy of the guide. So you'll see exactly what it was that they got. All right. So here's an example of what the ad looks like. And again, people will click And from here, actually, they will get to the single property website. So once they click through that ad, they're going to go to the single property website for that listing. Next up is social media post. So this is just a standard post: Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google your business. It's not going to generate a lot of leads, but you definitely want to make sure that you're doing it. People, when they click the post, let me show you here an example. All right, so look at that. It looks beautiful. They can click the link or the post, go right to the single property website. So many people are making Facebook posts of their listings, of their open houses, and they don't put a link in it. And you could even, if you wanted to, just grab this and copy it to your Facebook page. All right. But to not, and you could even use a different image. If I don't know why, I see so many people, the image that they use for their listing is like a digital image of the listing flyer, which I don't really understand why they're doing that. You can't read a listing flyer. Like when you put an in-app I love a listing flyer in a little box like this big, nobody can read anything. I recommend take this. All right. You may have a page that's not connected for whatever reason. And then when you go to Facebook, now this is a group, so sometimes it works a little bit differently, but let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And when you post it to your Facebook page, so again, we can do it right from within Listings to Leads, but I know some people like to take this and do it themselves manually. And now check this out. When I click that image, and there's no penalty from Facebook for putting a link. That a couple of months ago, something went through and there was a big algorithm issue and a lot of posts got deleted. There is no penalty. There is nothing bad about putting a link on a Facebook post. Absolutely nothing. All right. Everybody clear on that? So stop posting your listings, your open houses, whether they're yours or you're borrowing them. Stop posting them without a link. You need to make sure that you've got the link in that free post. Otherwise, how are people going to get to the single property website? And check this out. When I click through to your single property website, this could be from an ad, from a post you make, a post the homeowner makes, all right, the seller. Check this out. Property video, 3D tour, professional photos, a quick little lead form. When do you plan to buy? We can help to get more buyer leads. We got the map, Google Street View, and then check this out. We've got what is your home worth lead form? All right. A lot of times neighbors like to come through checking out listings, all right, in their area or a pretty home. They're starting to think about selling their property. They're on Facebook. They see a home they like. They see a home near them. They click on it. Now we got the ability to generate seller leads right from a free Facebook post. People can also download PDF guides right from your single property website. And so you are missing all of these beautiful opportunities when you do not post the link. All right. Excuse me. So let's get that out the door. Let's make sure we're doing that. Next up for social media is for the seller. So again, if you are the listing agent, getting this on the seller's Facebook page is one of the best things that you can do to generate free listings, free buyers, whether it is Dutton Fox, Lori Ballin when she was a top agent, and many other people. This is a tool that they recognize as making sure to help them get into the seller sphere of influence. And it's not just about the open house, because if it's our listing, and it has to be our listing for the seller to post it, when it goes pending, we're going to have it posted again. When it's sold, it'll be posted again. And we want to make sure that the seller sphere of influence sees us marketing, getting into contract, and selling that home. So all you've got to do to get this post to the seller is click the green send. When the seller's information is not there, that button's going to say add seller info. So click on it. add the info, click send, and that's going to send 2 emails, or it'll send an email to the seller. And I'm going to share with you what the email looks like. Give me a second here. I've got one up already. And that's there we go. So check this out. This is what's going to go to you're going to be CC'd too. So you're going to get a copy of this as well. There we go. So this is what goes to the seller. All right. It looks amazing. And so all the seller has to do is copy and paste that to their Facebook page. When they do, actually, let me back up real quick. When you get CC'd on this email, you'll know that the seller got it. All right. Now, there's a second email as well, and that is this e-flyer. So we want to send both at the same time. That way the seller gets the email for the Facebook post, they get the email for the e-flyer. And I'm telling you, if you've never done this before, you're absolutely missing out. Sellers actually love it 95 times out of 100. Even if they're not really on Facebook, don't worry about it. Just send it to them, because we've had sellers send this to their family members, and family members are posting these out. So here's the deal. When you get CC'd on these 2 emails, letting you know that the seller got them, that is your cue to call the seller up. And you're going to call the seller up, and you're going to say something like, "Hey, Barbara, this is Scott. Want to let you know we're doing the open house this weekend, and I've got a Facebook ad out. We got some social media stuff going. I'm going to be letting everybody in my database know and all this great stuff. I sent you a couple of things to help make sure, because in this crazy market, we don't want to leave any stones unturned. And you likely know people who know people that would love to buy a home in this area. And so I sent you something to put up on your Facebook page and something to share via email. Let me know if you have any questions on that." So when we give it to the seller, it looks beautiful. So they're going to absolutely love it. And then when we call the seller up and we frame it the way I just shared with you, I'm doing all this other great work, crazy market, don't want to leave any stones unturned, right? People who know people that would love to buy a home in this area. So if you could put that up on your Facebook page and share that email, that would help us make sure we get the maximum number of eyeballs on your property. The seller is going to think you're brilliant. The e-flyer, same as the post, link right to the single property website where I walked you through all the great engagement there. It's going to get your name out to the seller's sphere of influence, and it's going to help you generate buyer leads, seller leads, listings, transactions. All right. So any questions on that, I want you to make sure you get that done. Now, if you are borrowing the listing to hold it open, you won't have those tools available to you. But what you do have, of course, in addition to the listing agents on the call, is the nearby homeowner letter. This letter is your ticket to more listings. I'm going to click download. It is fully editable. This letter is catnip to conversations with homeowners. I have gone door knocking with this letter where we did 100 homes, and the agent talked to 6 or 7 people minimum, might have even been more. And in fact, she talked to a few people that were just walking the dog, doing their little walk. God, I can't remember. I know there's a couple of people that were in the driveway, like they were even getting ready to leave or just coming back. She talked to as well. So she probably talked to at least 10 people that in that 2 hours of door knocking for the open. It wasn't even her open house. She borrowed the listing from another agent to hold open and went door knocking and has some amazing conversations with homeowners. So this letter, now completely editable. You do not want to change it out that much. Now, for an open house, you're probably not going to mail it like you would maybe for pending or just sold or coming soon or just listed. Those lend themselves to being mailed. For an open house, it may not be. And here's the deal. I would record some short form videos while I'm doing this, where I'm maybe I'm door knocking, and as I'm walking, there's a nice view. And I might say, "Hey, this is Scott, and I'm out here talking to homeowners. in preparation for the open house that we're having. I want to make sure that all the homeowners in the area know that we're having an open house so that you can come and check it out, see how the market is right now. You may know people that would love to buy in the area, and this is a great opportunity. So while you're door knocking, you can be creating content. You could go live for a little bit while you're door knocking. When you're doing something like that, don't just think of it like it's a 2-hour time suck and I'm not going to be talking to anybody. There's other things that you can be doing while you're doing this. So for this letter, you can see we're letting people know about the open house on Sunday from 1 to 4. We've got the link, and I'm telling you, this link will make you look amazing. All right. 15ambientway.thebestlisting.com. All right. Sellers love that. This is a picture of my listing, so they're going to recognize that. There is a text code and a QR code. And then we're letting the neighbors know that when this home is sold, it will affect their home's value. And they can go here to get their updated home value. Now, the cool thing is when they scan that QR code or send a text message to go to the property website, as I just showed you a few minutes ago, we've got a home value embed right in the single property website. It's absolutely amazing. People go on listing appointments and they will see this letter on the fridge, on the counter, on the dresser, on the end table. So people a lot of times will save these letters, which are absolutely phenomenal. So if I click, there's a little edit here. So any one of these three have a little edit. And the only edit I would really make to this for open house would be either if my open house on Sunday is catered or if I'm having a neighborhood preview. So I might say, I just want to let you know we're having a NEIG, and I might even say catered. Now, obviously spell it right. So I might say we're having a catered neighbors only open house at 15 Ambient Way in Folsom on, now it says Sunday from 1 to 4. I can just change that to Friday from 4 to 6. And now it becomes even a little bit better because it's a neighborhood preview. And check this out. When I click download, and I can download it as a JPEG, you'll need JPEG, for example, if you're going to be doing mailbox power mailings. All right, check this out. Catered neighbor only open house, Friday 4 to 6. So completely editable, but the more homeowners around that listing that you get this to, the more opportunity you're going to have to get more of those neighbors to the open house, get more of those neighbors reaching out to you, getting more of those neighbors to the single property website. And had a client a little recently go into the mastermind group and said that she tries to get 2 of these out for every listing, and that she gets listings regularly from using this nearby homeowner letter. And she said she doesn't even edit it at all. She just will use it as is. I've dealt with people who are complaining about the nearby homeowner letter, and they edit it so much. Oh my God. If you're going to edit it, just realize you're breaking the formatting, you're breaking the visuals. All right. We want it to be as close to what as possible. And that is why, for example, if I do a neighborhood preview, like catered neighbors only preview, that's a very slight edit. That's fine. But what I don't want you doing is adding in your bio, adding in a bunch of stuff to it, because you're just going to ruin it. All right. It's just, there's no other way around it. So keep it, any edit that you make, super, super light. All right. We do have postcards and door hangers. Not really appropriate probably for an open house, but we do have a circle prospecting script. So if you've got Red X, you got My Plus leads, pull a list of those homeowners run that open house. And there's 2 versions of this. One where you don't use the letter or anything at all. You're just going to call cold. And we got a version where you send out either a letter, a postcard, or a door hanger. Great script, right? Why would we not want to call and invite the homeowners to the open house? All right. That's even something that I would leave on a voicemail. super quick, right? Hi, hi, Caroline. Scott here at XYZ Realty. Want to let you know we're having an open house at 15 Ambient Way in Folsom on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Or you could just even start out with, hi, Caroline. Want to let you know that 15 Ambient Way in Folsom, right around the corner from you, is having an open house on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. My name is Scott Pierce with XYZ Realty, and I sent a letter, or if you didn't, use this version right here. All right, you could say, please text 10006 to 25678 if you'd like to get the virtual tour sent to you, or you could just text me back at this number and I can get that over to you. So I would totally be calling. Again, I'm spending time and money to be in their neighborhood. So if you got access to be able to call people, then I would completely be doing that. Obviously, make sure you always scrub against the DNC. We don't want to do anything illegal. So I'm not insinuating that you start calling people that are on the, don't do that. And if you're using Red X, you're using My Plus Leads, you're using any of those kind of services, they've got the options to make sure that you can scrub and know what numbers are on or not on. And you could pull a list of 1 to 200 people where you say, I want 200 people, I want 200 people where there's a phone number not on the DNC. And that way you can make sure that you got a nice list to call versus just pulling a list of 200 and finding out that half of them are on the DNC. Next up is the e-flyer for your database. You can send this through Listings to Leads. You can send it through your CRM. And this email is beautiful. So you can see there, we got a 5-image slideshow. So the first 5 images of the property will rotate here. And that's why I always tell people, make sure the first 5 images, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes, but let's make sure that the first 5 images of the property or the best 5 images that reflect the property. Front of the home, maybe the kitchen, the living room, maybe the backyard, maybe the primary bedroom or another feature of the property that you want to highlight. So many times I go to a website for a listing, and you know what I do? I literally, the first thing I do now is I go from the first photo backwards because I know I want to see the yard. Because if the yard sucks, I'm not interested. All right. Or if the pool looks awful or whatever it is. And I know most agents, especially if it says like 45 photos, I know it's not going to be until photo number 38 that you're going to show me the backyard or the pool area. And it's really sad that most agents do that. So anyways, get this to your database. Again, this is going to click to the property website like we've seen earlier. And the one down here is going to click through to the landing page. And this is all automated. I didn't have to do anything. As soon as I set that listing as open house, all of these tools were created. And then down here, we got our Listings to Leads signature. And the second one here, click for my reviews. And again, as well, this is automated. We pull in reviews from Zillow, from Testimonial Tree, from Google. You can add listings manually. So to send this through Listings to Leads, select which list you want to send it to. And for open house, I like to send it to all, because I even want my seller leads to know about my open houses. So even if it's not my listing, it doesn't matter. I want all of my seller leads. I want all of my buyer leads to see that I am a busy, working professional that is not just sitting behind a keyboard, but that is actually out in the neighborhoods working, because people really respect agents that do an open house, especially if you're going to do the open house using our open house mastery training. So to send this, just click send now when you're ready. And again, I got all my click send. And like we did before, if we want to send this through our own CRM, click that little copy icon, copy the appropriate code. So I'm going to do copy for FUB. I'm going to go to my CRM. And if I copied code, now I could have copied the email like I did before and just paste it directly in, or I can click copy code. which gives me an extra step of clicking this little button called Insert Source, Insert HTML. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And just like from listings to leads, people click the image or the link, they go to the property website where we got all the beautiful engagement. They click this, they go through to the what is your home worth landing page. Got my signature at the bottom. This is better than 99% of the stuff that you're going to be sending out, from sending like to an IDX. Really? You're going to send an e-flyer for your open house directing people to an IDX. I mean, that's not that impressive. We want to impress people. We want to be the Neiman Marcus, the Saks Fifth Avenue. We want to be the top marketer in our area. We want to have the most beautiful tools in our area. All right, open house in Folsom. All right, and get that off to your leads in your own CRM. So whether you send it through listings to leads or you send it through listings to leads or your CRM, get it to your database. Next up is the database call script. So call some of your leads. I am sure there are some people that are in your database that you would love to see. All right. There might be people you had a conversation with 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, maybe a couple of months ago. Maybe it was a seller lead that you generated a while back, a buyer lead. Call these people up and invite them to the open house, because again, a lot of it is, I want to make sure that they see me as a working professional real estate agent, not just some ghost, all right, behind a screen, or that they just see online. All right. My online presence is powerful, but I also want to make sure that my personal presence is something that they can get a hold of, all right, that they can get a hold of me at the open house. And even if they don't come to the open house, the fact that they know I'm holding an open, again, my listing or borrow, it doesn't matter. But just the fact that I'm holding an open house is going to make me look better in their eyes versus someone that they don't know what the heck they're doing. All right. So make sure you call through your database. Real quick, let me go back to that real quickly here, because I like to point out when we call through our database, all right, you got the intro. All right. Hey, Victoria, Scott here at XYZ Realty. Want to make sure to let you know they're having an open house at 15 Ambient Way on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. I sent you an email with a link to the property website that has all the photos, and I just want to make sure that you got that. All right. If not, you can text 1006 to 25678, get the virtual tour sent to you. With the way the market is now, I just want to make sure to let you know. All right. Let me know if you like more information or schedule a showing. And this is just value add. It's informative. All right. Again, it's an open house. So if they got any inkling of buying or selling, and if your home has any chance of being something that they might be interested in, you're going to get their attention. So you could either not call and miss that opportunity, or you could make a few phone calls. It's not going to kill you. All right. You're going to be just fine after you make the phone calls. And in fact, you might have a few good conversations. And that's what this is all about, is having conversations that move to a buyer, that move to a seller, all right, where we are getting transactions. Now, this database call script will end in one of three different ways, depending on the person you're talking to. If they own a home near the listing, we got this ending. When this home sells, it will affect the value of your home and others in the area. Would scott@listingstoleads.com be the best email to send your updated home value to? They own a home not in the farm area, right? And then if they are a buyer or seller lead. So 3 different endings, 3 different opportunities to engage with people in our database. And again, we're just working our way down this list right here. Next up is the short form video script. And here is the video script itself. And what you want to do is click the green send button, send it to your phone, or if you're on your phone, just copy and paste that into a teleprompter app if you use them. I think for most people that are doing video, you might use the teleprompter app in the very beginning, and then later on you graduate to being just able to do the videos without a teleprompter app. So this script right here, All right. Hey, everybody in Folsom, want to let you know that 15 Ambient Way is having an open house on September 28th from 1 to 4 p.m. You can get all the photos, price details, and more by texting 1006-25678 or DM or comment below, and I'll get the link to you. It's a beautiful open house on a corner lot with a primary bedroom on the first floor, updated kitchen, and a great backyard that you're going to absolutely love. So just a little bit about the property. And then we're going to end it up with, now, if you're a Folsom homeowner, when this home is sold, nearby home prices will, or you could say could, however you want to frame that, could change. You can get your updated home value estimate now by going to california.freehomevalues.net, or again, comment or DM me below. So great short form video script. You can use it word for word. You can paraphrase it, do whatever you want. Linda, on the circle prospecting, how does that work again through your site? Did you say have a title agent run them? If you got RedX or mailbox, RedX, My Plus Leads, Agent Prospect, there's a few other of these services like those. All right. If you look up RedX or My Plus Leads, you'll probably find some of the other ones as well. These services, I can put an address in and then I can say, hey, give me 200 homes around this one. And I can even use like some lines and like trace out the neighborhood and say, I want 200 homes that are likely to list, 5+ year home ownership, high equity, right? What you get, all the different filters that you can use, but likely to list is usually one of the filters. And it'll give you the list, and then you can scrub the list against the DNC. Now you can use a title rep, but you're just going to want to make sure, and that's nothing I can help you with, to be honest. But if you're going to use a title rep, you're going to want to make sure that any phone number they give you is not on the DNC. How do you do that? I'm not really sure. I just know that when you do it through RedX or My Plus Leads, they've got the facility or the ability to do that right within their program. So it just makes it a little bit safer. All right, man, we've done so much. Now, I'm going to go back to listingstoleads.com/open house. There's two things I want to get to before I get to the yard sign, which is so critical. And that is, let's see here. Want to make sure. Okay, there's the yard sign. So I'm just, again, listingstoleads.com/open house. I'm going to come back to this. I will come back to that. We got the open house sign-in form. And all right, under more resources, the daily open house marketing calendar. This right here is a daily calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday, of how to market that open house. Why I like to show this is there is a different Instagram story, reel, TikTok represented here for every day of the week to make sure that no one in our audience is going to miss the fact that we are doing an open house. Now, I can do these for every single status. I can do it for pending, I can do it for active, I can do it for just sold. But again, if I'm going to be at an open house, my time, my money, I want to make sure that I just get this like beyond marketed. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that link into the mastermind group so that you can come here and get that very easily after this call. So after this call, get into the mastermind group, get a hold of that link, and make sure you see the calendar so that every day of the week you see what to do if it hasn't been done already. So we got a Monday story, we got Tuesday, we got Wednesday. In fact, let me show you some examples. If I scroll back up to that section I was showing you earlier, right here. All right. And again, I'm at listingstoleads.com/open house. Check this out. Some really good examples. So we got open house. Now there's music playing, but I've got it turned off. But check this out. right from my Instagram story, I got a link to the property website. So that's Monday. All right. And I got a poll looking to buy a home in the next 12 months. At that link, there is the information for every day of the week. I gave you the link to use. I gave you the poll question. I gave you the poll responses. So here's Monday, for example. Here's Tuesday. All right. The kitchen. And check this link. Get the guide, 6 things to check before buying a home. And right from my Instagram stories, and now I can download this guide. Check that out. Boom. It's going to download right here. 6 things to check. And you just generated a lead. The lead got a guide right from your Instagram story. And there's a poll. Is this kitchen your vibe? And they can click to respond. All right. I mentioned it can do a little video clip. It can be an image, right? Whatever. Let's go back to that one. So single property website. Here we got the kitchen living area and the link, free ultimate guide to buying a home. That's a different guide. And then it could have been a link to a list of price reduced homes for sale. It could have been a link to something else related to buying or selling a home. And then we got our poll. How would you use this space? So every day of the week, I want to make sure I'm getting an Instagram story done. And in that Instagram story, I want to make sure I got a link to something of value. Right? I don't want just another pretty picture or another pretty video. I want a pretty video, a pretty image, but I also want a link to something that I know that a potential home buyer or a potential home seller would likely click on to get that information. It could have been a home value. It could have been a guide. It could have been a link to the property website. It could have been a link to something else, but we're leveraging the fact that we're doing this open house. We're leveraging the fact that on stories and even TikTok, you can do polls, you can do links, we can do all sorts of great stuff to not just put out a pretty picture or pretty video, but to actually engage people better. All right. Single property website. Don't really need to discuss this, but again, I can go to edit listing. I can add my professional photos, professional videos, walkthrough videos, area videos, 3D tours. All right. So many great things I can add to my Listings to Leads property website and virtual tour. All right. Now we got our open house sign-in form. I'm not even sure what I did there, but I'll just update it. We have an online version and a print version. The online version, I'll click view and I can edit this. And what's great about this, in fact, I got a link to Canva that gives you, I don't have it printed. I wish I did. I'll make sure I print it for next time. But I've got a page that requests people to sign into the open house. I'm going to give that to you here in a minute. But these are the questions that I have, and they're fully customizable. And a realtor's name, because sometimes I'll get a question. We ask for their realtor's name because if you were to ask, do you have a realtor? A lot of times they're going to say yes, just so you don't bother them. So what we do is we say, what is your realtor's name? And sometimes people are going to put your name. That is perfect. That is absolutely, that means they don't have a realtor. So they might just put your name, but they might also say, I don't have a realtor. So anyways, additional feedback, continue, and check this out. When people, and this is good for you to remember this, when people sign into the open house, the seller has asked everybody to sign in for security purposes. Thank you for your understanding. When they sign in, they're going to get a copy. So you could even mention to them, and as they thank you for signing in, you will get a copy of the 6 things to check before buying a home. Beautiful. That way you're going to get more people signing in to get that guide. And there's an online version as well. A lot of people like the print version. And the beautiful thing is, any edit that I make to the open house sign-in form will go through to the print version. and I can edit the open house sign-in form questions. I can turn them on, turn them off, delete them, edit them, add new ones, move them around. I can also put the questions first and then the sign-in second. So I got options there. I can shade the background dark or light. I got a QR code. So a lot of great things there. Next up, in fact, one second, let me do this. I was looking for this earlier. So in the mastermind group, we've got that daily calendar for the open house, but I've also got, and I got to see if I just search open house. So in the mastermind group, you can actually search for open house. And I commented on it earlier. Yeah. So on August 5th, and I gave a Canva link, and this is editable, and there's some information here. And what you can do is you can download this. Yeah. Or make a copy. I think you make a copy. All right. And now I can edit the copy. This is for you, right? This is you doing this. Now you can swap the picture out. So put a picture of your listing in there. And this is a welcome to the open house. Your visit is important to us. The seller has respectfully requested that all visitors sign in for security purposes. We appreciate your cooperation. So sometimes people like to take that and put it at their open house in a little acrylic flyer holder. Maybe tape it on the door as well, so that when people come through, there's no question. You barely have to even ask them. And I'll tell you, some of the neighbors are really going to respect that. All right. Some of those neighbors are going to be like, wow, I like how this agent actually is not just letting people run through this open house. So I just showed you how to find it. Let me comment on it again and bump that up. And hopefully that will put that near the top of the mastermind group. So go grab that if you want to have something to put at the open house to help you get people to sign in better or faster or easier. All right, now listing flyers. I'm just going to click download. Got JPEG or PDF. Again, most likely for an open house, I'm just going to print the PDF myself. This isn't something I'm going to send to get printed. And these are better than 99% of what I see out there. I mentioned earlier, I go to 2 to 3 open houses every few weeks. Most print flyers are very substandard to this. This print flyer's got the QR code beautifully displayed. It's got the text code right here. Got information about the property. The goal here is to give people enough information to want more information. So the goal of the listing flyer, whether it's on the yard sign, whether it is at the open house itself, the goal of the listing flyer is, again, to get people interested enough in the listing to want more information, so that they either scan the QR code, send a text, and become a lead. Use our listing flyers, please. If it's your listing, you're going to want to get these done. Now, the great thing about our text codes, once the text code is assigned to your account, it will stay with your account. So Linda or Caroline or Barbara or Gladys or anybody else on this call, when I've got one of these sign writers, when I go buy one, I can move it from listing to listing for as long as that sign writer holds up. So I'm not going to have to throw it away. I'm not going to have to get rid of it. What I can do is I can download the file. You can either order it through Dirt Cheap Signs, which you can see right here, or I can just have a local sign writer company print that up for me and do it that way. So we got blog post, we got Craigslist, we got a QR code, we got the traffic report. These are all things that are not really relevant for an open house, but it's already 12:02. If you want to give me a few more minutes, let me share with you two things that are very important. One, the open house mastery. So we talked about how do we actually do the open house? Go to marketing calendar, and there is a tab. So here's the marketing calendar. We got presentations, and under presentations, open house mastery. This is a game changer. This is what's going to take your open house from being a sea of sameness to being something that you're going to be proud of. The first time, the second time, maybe even the third time you do this, you're not going to nail it all the way through. But what you will do, hopefully, is get better every single time. Come in here once a week, take a look at this. If you're a broker, I would be training on this. If I'm a lender or a title rep, this is something that I would do a lunch and learn on. It is a beautiful presentation. It is one of the best out there. I went through dozens and dozens of YouTube videos, of trainings, of my own experience, of talking with agents to put this together. And it's going to walk you through how do we create an unforgettable experience that buyers and sellers will not forget. I've had people that even do half of this that tell me that, man, they went from doing an open house where there wasn't a lot of engagement, there wasn't a lot of back and forth, to one where people are actually getting listing appointments at the open house because the neighbor comes through, the neighbor wants to sell, they see how you do your business with all the things that are in here, and they go, you're obviously a natural. You are somebody that I would want to work with. They got the open house, the nearby homeowner letter, right? Inviting them to the open house. Beautiful. You had a sign-in form, professional. And you have other things that we're going to talk about in here that just make you somebody that they would want to represent them. Now, we also talk about how to pick an open house. You may have a listing, but you can only do an open house on your listing so often. And you want to be doing at least 2 open houses a month, if not 4. Again, open houses. If your business is not where you want it at, and even if it is, Dustin Fox, my God, the guy has 24 people on his team, and they still do open houses on the regular. So we talk about how to pick a property to hold open. We don't want to waste our time on a bad listing. We talk about how to borrow a listing from somebody else. In fact, I just saw somebody in a Coldwell Banker agent is holding open a Compass listing this weekend. So I saw the listing come through, and again, it was a Coldwell Banker agent. So the agent from Coldwell Banker is holding the open house, but the listing agent is an agent from Compass Real Estate. So I thought that was cool. It doesn't have to be your brokerage. So here in this presentation, we walk through how to market, and that's what we've been doing already. So it's good to see this just as a quick, did I do all this? Did I do these things? Right? Do I have my listing flyer? Did I get the e-flyer out? Did I do a video? Do I have a sign-in form ready? We talk a little bit about a neighborhood exclusive. So I'm just going through this as a quick little overview so that later you can go through this at your leisure. It's super easy. A lot of this will be recognizable now that we've already gone through most of it. Here's a little script for the open house neighborhood exclusive. A very powerful way to connect with neighbors. Make sure the homeowner promotes it on Nextdoor and I should add here, their neighborhood Facebook group. So again, if you're the listing agent, or even if I'm borrowing the listing to hold open, I might still want to ask that listing agent, hey, can you make sure that your client just lets everybody know on Nextdoor and on the neighborhood Facebook page that we're having an open house on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Get more of those. Don't tell them why. All right. Don't tell the listing agent why you're doing that, but I would definitely ask them to. All right. Again, we talk about inviting our database. All right. And personally inviting your top leads, top 50, top 10, top 5. Again, a little bit of a script for calling into our database. The open house experience, first impressions matter. And I've got 2 things for you that are not even on here that I'm going to share with you in a couple of seconds. So again, the listing flyer, doing a neighborhood guide or summary, feedback, right? The open house sign-in form, a pin, and you can go to Office Depot, order off of Amazon. In fact, in the PDF, so in the PDF version of this, I've got links to all the shopping stuff on Amazon, I think. And there's something about handing a open house visitor a clipboard that immediately sets you apart from everybody else. And you can buy them like 10 for $20 or something. They're not expensive. You can buy 5 at a time, right? We're going to talk about how to create a open house that people don't forget. And this is so funny because we think about, oh, flags and balloons. All right. Not many people do that. Having a little bit of music. Have you ever walked into a retail store and they don't have music? All right. So having a little bit of music at your open house can be a game changer. Making sure we got good smells. All right. Scan the QR code. There's a great article talking about smell and the importance of it. Food and drinks. And again, putting a box of cookies from Safeway on the table is not what I'm talking about. That's almost goofy. I've walked into a few open houses and yeah, it's just goofy. What I would do, if I want to keep it cheap and easy, what I would do for catering is I would go to Costco or Walmart and get a 2-pound container of mixed nuts. And then the little clear cups, not the normal drinking cup size, but the smaller one, and fill it up like a quarter of the way with the mixed nuts. Healthy people love them. Everybody loves them. All right. Mixed nuts are just one of those things. They're not going to be messy. You're not going to get crumbs everywhere. And then maybe you got logoed bottled water or bottled water with your logo, or just the small bottled water. I walked into an open house recently, a couple of months ago now at this point, and she actually had a nice setup, but she had it by the front door. So you walk in the property and the bottled water was actually in like an ice bucket, but it was almost hidden behind the front door. So make sure if you're going to do a little bit of catering that you put it somewhere that people are not going to miss. Because I think a lot of people wouldn't have even saw her setup until they were like literally walking out the property. And Linda says small clipboards at Amazon for 20 or something. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Clipboards. We're not on the NFL sideline. We don't need a heavy duty clipboard like the coach of a basketball team needs. We just need nice little clipboards to put the listing flyer, the sign-in sheet, and the neighborhood summary. All right. And maybe something else that you might want to put there with it. But anyway, sorry. So drinks. And let's just finish this up real quickly here. Day of the open house. We got a directional signs. I have found myself going to open houses solely on the fact that I see directional signs, because I'm going to the cafe, I'm going to Home Depot, I'm going somewhere, and I see signs on the way out. I'm coming back, I see more of these signs, and I'm like, man, that must be a pretty good open house if they got this many signs out. Now, sometimes if it's 10 in the morning, I know they're not up yet, but I'll make a note to go back later in the afternoon. So anyways, directional signs. Make sure we prep the open house. And again, go through this later at your leisure. Meeting people. It is pathetic how many people do not have barely any social grace in this industry. I tell you, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen even top agents that you would just really wonder, have you ever worked retail? It's apparent that a lot of agents have never worked retail in their lives because they've got a massive inability to meet and greet the proper way. So go through this, learn how to do all of this in a way. Right here, we talk about handing the clipboard, right, and how to do that. Come on, we've got this all set up for you. all you got to do is I would go through this once a week and see what have I not incorporated? What am I not maybe doing properly? All right. We even got at the end of the open house funnel questions, not funnel take questions based on your interactions with that person. All right. So anyway, let's go through that later. Again, marketing calendar. You're going to land on the marketing calendar, but click on presentations. And that's the presentation that we were looking at. This is the PDF guide, and this is just the checklist. And two more things, if you bear with me. One is we have got a lot of print flyers and listings to leads. I'm going to bump up another post in the mastermind group talking about these, but whether it is the 100-point home marketing plan, or maybe it's a print flyer for a PDF guide, right? Imagine I've got a print flyer with a QR code, 25 factors that impact your home value. I've got another print flyer, get top dollar for your home with our 100-point home marketing plan. We've got 40 PDF guides for buyers, 40 for sellers. Right here, PDF guide. Every one of them has a beautiful print flyer. In fact, I'm going to show you. So if I click PDF guide, what I want to have you, now you don't have to have the acrylic holders. I think it helps and makes them look good. Maybe you go in with another agent to buy like a set of 10 of them, 5 each. But check this out. A downsizing guide for homeowners. If I go to buyer guides, now we got the whole funnels, right? Ads, post, emails, right? How about down payment assistance for local home buyers? Click the green marketing tools button, and then you'll see print flyers right here. And check that out. Isn't it hot? Now you can just leave this laying around. You could also print and put it in the clipboard. Now that's a lot to print. So I think I would just print one, and I would put that either, maybe it's on the table near the mixed nuts or whatever it is I've got. Maybe it's on the table near the open house sign-in form, or maybe I put it in an acrylic holder like this one right here. And so it just sits there. Or there's the sideways versions, and there's also the straight up and down versions. But again, if you go to the marketing calendar presentations in the PDF guide, there's actually links to all of the stuff I recommend. All right. Now, the last thing that I want you to be thinking about under the media library, and in fact, if any of you have, in fact, let me bring this up real quick. I'm going to go Amazon, because this is something new. And iPad holder stand. So in your listings to leads media library, if you search 100, all right, check this out. And Barbara, or whoever it was, Linda, tell me if you've ever seen this or not. So I typed in 100 in the search area under the media library, and 3 videos will come up. The video, when I mouse over, says long video, short video, and then this is for TikTok and Instagram. This is something that you can download and upload to your YouTube channel. You can actually upload this to your YouTube channel. But what I want you to be doing, check this out. Either on the TV, if you've got access to the TV, or maybe if you got an iPad. Now you may have the iPad going for the open house sign-in form. I would use the print version of the open house sign-in form. I like the print version better, but you do whatever you want. But what I would do is I would do the open house sign-in form print, and then I would get my iPad or tablet device. All right, there's a little stand that looks really cool, and it's $30. I'm sure there are versions that are cheaper, maybe a $12 stand. All right, I can't attest to the quality, but it's got good reviews. 73,000 views. Holy crap. 580 subs. Looks pretty damn good. So for $12, $13, $12.99. I can get it today, it looks like. Prime today. I can get this delivered today. Imagine going into an open house, and I've invited all the neighbors, and I'm sure other homeowners are going to come through as well. And they see this video playing on an iPad stand at the open house. And this is my 100-point home marketing plan, the PDF and the flip book for the 100-point home marketing plan. This is the video version. This walks through, and I'm telling you, this is something that a client came up with. I didn't even have this idea. It should have been my idea, but we got smart clients. And so somebody was on a call a few months ago, and he goes, I downloaded the video from Listings to Leads. I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. And then when I'm doing my open house, I turn on YouTube on the TV. All right. Don't have to log into your YouTube account, but I just go to that video. I go to my channel, I bring up the video, and I play the video on the TV during the open house. How brilliant is that? Linda, I'm sorry. Linda, what is the question there? I'm sorry. Does Listings to Leads have a set for a brochure? I'm not really sure what you mean. We do have brochures. And while I'm here, real quickly, this version of 100 is the short. And notice that green download button right there. Boom. This is the Instagram story, Instagram reel, YouTube short version of the same video of the 100-point home marketing plan. Come on, it does not get much better than that. All right. I found my survey on the property over the clipboard so you can write on both sides. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And that's why those clipboards are really great, because that way they can walk around, they can fill out the sign-in form. They don't have to stand there and feel like they're a mischievous student with a teacher looking over the shoulder. If you hand the clipboard, they get a little bit more agency, a little bit more autonomy from you. And that's why it's so cool. If I've got one or two of these, a PDF guide for buyers, a couple of PDF guides for sellers, and I got a couple of these, maybe one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one in the primary, maybe one in the backyard or patio on a table. Then I got my tablet with that video playing on a stand, or I got the TV on. My gosh, there's so much great ways that we're going to turn this open house into just a love fest between you and the buyers and the sellers, where you're going to have more conversations than ever. Yeah. Linda, why don't you email me what you're thinking of? Because we do have actually one coming. God, we should have been live a while back ago, to be honest with you. I don't know why it's not, but it's like a 4-page. Is that what you're talking about? Like a 4-page brochure? Because we are actually moving to a new platform soon. In the next week or two, people will start migrating over to Listings to Leads 2.0. Faster, quicker, easier, brand new code base. Been working on it for over a year. And once we got that live, we're going to be able to add more amazing things. TikTok integration, dynamic and automated reels and stories from your listing photos, bring in some AI tools into the system. So we have a lot of things coming. But Linda, yeah, for now, I think, Linda, you got my email address. Just email me what you're thinking of. Let me take a quick look at it and get back to you. All right. Any other questions, any other feedback, any other comments here before I let you all go? We walked through adding a listing to our account, right? Setting the open house, marketing the open house to generate buyer and seller leads. We walked through social media. We walked through social media, database, the farm. We walked through how to conduct the open house. We walked through, in fact, if you scroll down at listingstoleads.com/open house, scroll all the way down, 7 ways to generate seller leads after the open house. All right. So we got this here. This was the daily calendar. right? So this is that daily Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, marketing the open house. This is what that tool for the seller looks like. And if I go open house PDF, let me see, because I got another post. Yeah, let me bump this one up because that's what your yard sign should look like. And that's the same thing that we were looking at earlier. And let's see here. I should be able to find it, I would think. There we go. This one right here. So this is a good representation of what I'm talking about when I talk about putting some of those PDF flyers in these acrylic stands. Look how good that looks. And in fact, the flyers look even better now. This is from a little while ago, right? Boom, look at that. Right from their phone. They can download that guide. Look at that. Boom, bada bing. Do you want to download the guide? Yes, download. And they can open up the guide right on their phone. And right there, they could be at the open house looking at your PDF guide, right? All your branding, all your colors, your logos, everything of yours is in those guides. Once you go through the Get Started Wizard, takes 5 minutes when you sign up, all of that stuff will be completely branded to you. All right, everybody, listen, have a phenomenal day. Get into the mastermind group. Let me know how we can be of service. Let me know how we can help you out. I want to make sure that you literally have the best open house of your career. I know the market is crazy right now. It can be ridiculous right now. And the best antidote to a bad market, if there is a bad market in your area, is being such a high powered professional that when people are interacting with us, especially live, that they've got so many great things that they're thinking about us, so many great ways that they can engage us with, and that we are coming across not as every other agent in our area, but we're coming across as like the top agent. You could be 3 weeks into this business, no listings of your own. And if you do even half of what I talked about and work towards being able to do all of it, you will come across as a top agent in your area so quick. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Do not forget, I just had someone sign up. Someone just signed up for a free account with Listings to Leads. And they said, because we asked, how did you hear about us? And they said, some other agent, and who is a client, but they didn't use that agent's affiliate link. So if you're going to refer people to Listings to Leads, and thank you for that, I appreciate that, make sure you set up your affiliate link right here, affiliate link. And when you get here, this may not be here right away. I think you have to set up a PayPal email address, put that in there, generate the affiliate link, and then you can use the affiliate link to invite people. They get like a 21-day free trial versus the 14-day at our website. And we've even got an email that you can send. We've got a social media post. And I love it when I see people posting this out. All right. And it links right to your affiliate link. So if you use the email, you use the post. I know a lot of lenders and title people like to use and coaches like to use the print flyer. So again, if I'm doing like a lunch and learn and I want to give people something easy, I can just have the print flyer available for people. And again, maybe I take the print flyer, I put it in one of these, and then that way, if I'm doing a lunch and learn or a training, people, as they come in or before they leave, they can scan that QR code, sign up for Listings to Leads with my affiliate link. Pay 15% recurring, no caps, no limit. So take advantage of it. All right. For all of you that stayed with me for the hour and a half, thank you so much for that. Have a wonderful day. And again, get into the mastermind group. I want to hear from you. So go to the mastermind group and let's make sure we have the best open house ever. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.